pack. I don't always play barbarians.
There's a lot of range within the barbarian class. I mean,
not every barbarian is the same.
That's right. Some
carry
use
an axe.
axes.
Yeah,
some
carry
use swords.
Right.
Well,
otherwise,
some are from the north, some are from the south.
Otherwise, I'd like to think of myself as a storyteller.
You have to be paying attention to the story to be able to tell the story in the first place.
But I usually do have a good
You've got a good backstory.
How about this?
Yeah.
You're not a storyteller. You're a story participator.
Okay, well, then what am I? What am I?
I see you as the specialist.
You're Merry and Pippin.
Yes.
Merry Pippin.
You're the sidekick.
Okay.
You're both Merry and Pippin, though.
And sometimes the lovable dupe.
The lovable dupe. You're Jar Jar.
Or the patsy in the case of...
The character I'm playing now?
No, I was thinking Boz and...
Oh, Ahmad.
Oh, Ahmad. Oh, yeah,
yes.
he was definitely the patsy.
Patsy.
I don't know. When I look at the list, though, Jason Storyteller really is the only other
That's the
thing
one
he
that
could
jumps
be.
out.
Yeah,
there's no iPhone gamer now.
Yes.
You guys suck.
He certainly ain't a butt kicker.
I would also say the storyteller part, because like I've said before, you really get into your characters. You're not the method actor. You're not, well, sometimes you are, but
I think the last time I was a method actor, I had to, usually when I'm playing a halfling, I'm a method actor.
Yeah.
And I think the last time I was really, really that into that kind of a character, that was when I said, I need to take a break and play me for a while.
I was actually thinking of more along the lines when you play the scoundrel at cons and hit on any girl that's sitting at the table.
That's true.
Regardless of how female
I
they
don't-
may or may not be.
I was going to say, I don't really think that is Jason role-playing so much as just flirting.
Because I can get away
he's
with it.
away. Yeah.
Because I get away with it.
It's pretense.
I was
Right?
acting.
Zip code.
Different state, different time zone.
Ooh.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Sean.
Sean.
So
You're the guy my girlfriend always warns me about when she goes plays games at cons, and she's like, "These guys were hitting on me the whole time. I couldn't even concentrate on what I was doing."
Yes, that is Jason.
I know I shouldn't ask, but I take it your girlfriend's hot.
Oh yeah,
Of course, he's going to say his girlfriend's hot.
of course.
Then, yeah,
what am I going to do? Bang somebody who's not hot? Come on.
Does she listen to these?
My favorite was when Jason was hitting on the girl and her boyfriend was the GM of the game.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, a true scoundrel. Somebody who's just begging to have a character sheet burned.
All class with this one. All class.
I'm just.
Hey, any shapes or sizes, Jason doesn't care.
No,
Evidently
it's
not.
got an orifice and I can get it in there.
More cushion for the pushing.
Edit.
Dear. No.
No.
We take those out and save
Snippets.
for later.
That's a snippet.
Yes.
Okay, Sean.
Okay.
Exhibit A, Your Honor.
I would have to say if I'm playing Shadowrun, I have to be the butt kicker. Now,
Yes.
anything else, I'm a specialist.
Okay.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
say half a specialist and half a casual gamer.
That's why I had you down.
I have Sean more of a casual gamer. You're there just to, like you've said it before. It's not like you're going out and finding, games or demanding that we play games and things like that. That's what we're doing. You're hanging out with your friends.
I think once he goes to Gen Con and he sees all the stuff that's out there, I mean that's a game shop on steroids. No, that's a game shop on steroids, and it's been exposed to gamma rays.
Yeah. I'm already planning what I'll be buying at Gen Con, and it's 6 months away.
I'm the same way.
I haven't started doing that because I don't have any money.
Well, neither do I.
That's why both credit
We're
cards
spending
are paid
Sean's
off.
money
Oh,
this
that's
year.
right.
Remember?
That's right, we're spending
Sean's
Sean's money.
This is on Sean's time.
It's all Sean.
Have you guys seen the Sultan gaming table?
Oh, I've seen it.
That's what we want Sean to buy to
Yes.
put right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the
It's the
Sultan's
Sultan's gaming table.
the Sultan
Yes.
game?
The
Look it up. It is freaking cool.
It's a company called Geek Chic, and they make it's called the Sultan. It's their they make different kinds of gaming tables, but the best one is called the Sultan, and it runs about all right at $10,000.
Yeah.
Is it that much?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that much.
They run the like 6 to 8, and the Sultan is about
like
10.
yeah, like 9 or 10.
Everybody has their own gaming station and with pull-out drawers and cup holders and dice.
Yeah,
And
I can't wait to sit down here at it.
Yep.
So between the 6 or 7 of you, nobody has any carpentry experience. You guys can't build your own version of this.
I don't trust any of these guys.
I could build it, but it wouldn't look as nice.
Yeah.
No,
Build it, they
it's
will
made of
not come.
it's made of really nice hardwood.
It's like Norm Abrams in the new Yankee Workshop made this. It's that good.
There's only one table that I can think of that I would pay $10,000 for, and it's probably the table that's in Sons of Anarchy. That's a pretty sweet table.
Yes.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Not very conducive to games.
The dice way get caught up in the
Yeah.
carving.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with that transforming table that when you grab it and you spin the table,
Yes,
it
that
transforms
thing
and
is
expands.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kaleidoscopes out. I will send you a link so you can link to it because it's amazing.
Okay.
It's awesome.
It's a little table and it gets bigger.
That table, I think that table retails for like $28,000 though.
Yes,
So
it does.
beautiful
also
and
made
it's
of, like,
huge.
rare mahogany and
They had a table at I think it was last year or the year before at Gen Con.
It's a touchscreen.
They had the touchscreen table.
That was 2 years ago.
The Windows Surface.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a friend who is talking about building a table that is touch responsive with like miniatures, so that it will be able to detect where your miniature is on the the field of play, and that
Yeah.
will.
That's what this table did that, as I recall.
Because on the bottom of the minis had a little QR code that the table read.
Yeah.
And it,
Right.
it was,
Yeah, I was
it
going to
amazing.
say that or like RFID chip or something.
Yeah, I think that he's
If you
going
wanna
to
get real high tech.
Yeah. But
See, this
I
is
love
why
that-
you got to go to Gen Con.
I think this is this may be a stupid kind of half joke or whatever, but I love that we're on Gamers Table and we're talking about gaming
A
table.
gaming table.
There you go.
What else are we going to talk about?
I have to mention this real quick before we actually talk to you guys or listen to the show. We just saw it written. I was asking Ryan if he thought if it was Gamers Table or Gamer
Gamers Table.
Stable.
We get that a lot.
I actually usually use a lot, something along those lines. Like when we went to the con, when I went to register, she said, because I was going to use Gamer's Table, she said Gamer Stable, and I said, yeah, we are studs.
Right.
So
That's right.
I was like, it's a stable of gamers. That makes
Yeah.
total sense.
we do have the numbers.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 of you guys. Yeah, so.
and it kind of fluctuates. You never know who's going to show up.
Actually, what my initial intention was to put umlauts over the A in table. Gamostabel.
Nice.
But as far as the Sultan gaming table goes, if you could imagine a pool table that you could actually pull up to and sit at,
Yep.
that the sides come down to reveal like a place where you could set your character sheet, because the top of the table is actually for like rolling dice and setting up minis and a map and stuff like that. So
Sure.
it's
like a double decker type table.
Yes.
yeah, and they've got another one that's like a dining room table that it's the top comes off.
Yeah.
And underneath is your gaming surface, where you could actually leave your map and your minis where they were from week to week, and put
And the squares would never know.
and put the top. Yeah, exactly.
The squares.
The normals.
Yes. Well, unlike Woodside, who took his pool table and put a piece of plywood on top to make a gaming table.
So we can play
What a
for-
dingbat.
You got to. Hey,
He said squares. I thought he meant map squares would never know. And I was like, it's a map. How are they going to know anything? What the hell are you talking about? But never mind. I got it. I was just a day late and a dollar short. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric.
I'm a storyteller.
Sure you are.
Sure.
That's right.
Where's my note?
Maybe whenever you're GMing, sure. We're talking about playing
I'm all about moving the story forward.
as quickly as possible through
By walking in like we
insanely-
own the place and kicking everybody's ass.
by making insanely powerful characters.
I've got you down as a method actor tactician.
Interesting. Okay.
You're wrong.
No, I disagree.
You are wrong, sir.
I think when Eric plays his character to the hilt.
He gets
See-
into the psychological motivations of his character.
So do I, and I was accused of power gaming.
See,
For in order to be considered a method actor, do you guys like kind of lump taking on the voice as that, or are you just talking about your actions and
Generally,
and your
actions and
actions
motivation.
and motivations. Although when we did our Victoriana actual play podcast, there was a lot of method acting going on.
Eric and I are part of another podcast. It's a sketch comedy podcast where doing voices is basically what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we've been incorporating more of that into our play.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because that's what when I hear method acting as far as in a gaming context, that's what I think of. Because when that Bard character that I talked about, I kind of donned a little bit of the Kenneth Branagh, kind of Britishy accent, but that's the only time I've ever done that. But we've had a couple of group members that are their voices.
I kind of ventured into that with our last Shadowrun game.
Yeah.
He's a medic. He's like he's like an ex-dock wagon driver. And
Did you get shot in the head by a sniper?
That's what
That only happens in my game.
Oh, okay.
for no apparent reason, he's Russian. For
Okay.
like zero reason. It has no bearing on anything. And so, but I on some occasion I would don a Russian accent. And,
Well, our friend Andrew in all of our games, he's never played an American. He's always got like some awful stereotypical accent, but that it lends kind of a fun atmosphere to it when he's talking about when he's the Southern Colonel and he's going to talk about
Your Honor.
it lends some that's when I think of method acting, that's what I think of.
Well, this original post here says method actors would not use any dice if they had the inclination.
See, that gives Woodside too much of a way out. That's like giving him credit for being a lazy.
No, that's a lazy gamer.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
I mean he takes even more than you being a casual gamer, and we're giving you casual gamer.
Yeah.
Woodside wouldn't even show up. I think he's just there on Monday to be there on Monday.
That's a casual gamer.
He's there, and a game is taking place.
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Right.
Well, I'm just saying that at some point you're just LARPing sitting down if you're
I would never do that.
total method actor.
Yeah. Using your example, Kramer, I think that in that context about power gaming, I would consider myself a power gamer because I've done that. I mapped a character out from 1st through 20th level to make sure that I'm covering all the bases. And but
optimal damage output.
Well, yeah, I've made characters that are just death machines. Things.
Well,
like
you've
that.
turned a new leaf. That was kind of part of why I wanted to do the 3d6 down the line to kind of break out of those kind of molds and do something a little bit different.
Right.
Well,
And
I'm
I
also
think
going to say there's a distinct difference in my mind between a power gamer, which is what you kind of described, and somebody who's like a munchkin, somebody who's just a mini maxi. They're just trying to get the absolute maximum stats and all that stuff like that for the least amount of cost. I don't equate those two. So power gaming, in my opinion, isn't as much of a pejorative, I should say, as like saying a munchkin or a
Not
mini
quite
maxi.
as aggressive.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think
We used to call it beardy.
I don't think Eric.
yes, that's a miniatures British kind of term. Yeah,
It's a white
beardy.
dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think Eric min maxes really.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
Calidor was really the only time I ever really did that.
Come on,
He was doing that to
Calidor-
teach us a lesson.
Calidor was made with the Chris Pronger rule, which there is no min-max. It's all max with that system. I mean,
When we refer to the Chris Pronger
Yeah, I was
rule,
going to say, what is the Chris Pronger rule?
it's the 44 build points.
For a
whereas
D&D based point
the
5.
3.5 for a powerful campaign was 25.
Right, was 25.
Yeah,
We
and
were
you
making-
almost doubled it.
We were making characters with 44 points.
Yeah, because I don't want to fail
hold on,
a roll.
hold on. No.
Wah.
That was Brian's idea.
Well, you followed
I
it.
don't remember that being Brian's idea.
If
Yeah.
Brian's going to get 44 points, I want 44 points.
Heaven forbid.
Just saying.
But I think, for the most part, in all honesty, I think that I don't know. I think I am kind of the storyteller.
I don't disagree.
I'm there's many a times where I've said, let's just do this way to move it forward.
Yeah.
The definition for power gamer on the post, though, says that they're essentially more interested in the character sheet and the powers that you get than, I think, actually role-playing the character.
Oh, yeah, just
Which is why I-
having new cool stuff on your character.
Which is why you change your character on a week-to-week basis.
I
Don't even say
do not-
you don't do that.
You make it sound more
Nefarious.
sinister than it is. It's like,
I believe your
It
exact
is
words
what
were,
it
I
is.
had to tweak him a little bit.
right, and that usually happens a couple of times within the first few levels, just so I know what track I want to be on. By the time I'm 10th level, I've got it nailed down.
I very much prefer to take everything out of context. Well, on that note,
All right. Well, I think
what kind of gamer are you? If you can post it on the website.
Yeah, just let us know. And hey, that thread is still going on Ian World. So yeah, and we'll put a link to it too.
It's probably like 30 pages long. Though.
Yeah, and it usually is. So so post it on there. Post it on our site if you want to. Let us know. And hey, thanks to Mike and Ryan for Action Nerds Go for joining us.
Thank you for having us. It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot
Thanks,
of fun. We
guys.
need to do this again.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
you guys need to come up sometime and play with us
That didn't sound weird.
in person. In person.
We'll arrange a play date for Jason and you guys.
We got plenty of room at the table.
There's always room at the table.
Exactly, gamers table.
God.
Plug. He said it.
Hit you with an axe handle.
Oh, boy.
All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Later.
We're going to bust
Yeah,
this cherry
that's
at
true.
Gen Con, though.
Oh, which one?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
Not that one.
No, that's my cousin. We talk about it. That's gross.
Follow us on Twitter. We're at Gamers Table.
Like us on Facebook.
Listen to us on iTunes.
Or on Stitcher.
Got a question you want read during the show? Send us an email at feedback@gamerstable.com or leave us a voicemail at 559-546-1231. Check out some other great shows affiliated with us at rpgcrosstalk.webs.com. You have been listening to Gamers Table, registered trademark Side Tangent Productions. Visit us at gamerstable.com. Products and intellectual properties discussed during this podcast are properties of their respective owners. This production is for entertainment purposes only. Any commercial broadcast is prohibited without written consent from Side Tangent Productions.